Is this thing on? Testing. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Testing. Is anyone there? Max, is this thing working? Max, do you know if it's working? Did you unplug the internet again? No, wait. It's working. Okay, Max, you're good. You didn't unplug it. I knew you wouldn't unplug it. Why would you? You're a dog. You don't unplug things. He does, though, sometimes. Hello? Is this thing on? Testing. 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 Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday episode of the Above It All experimental experience. I'm your host. I'm here once again to do a program, and I'm doing the program. So we're here. Going to be talking about the news today. And tomorrow is going to be my birthday. I will not be here tomorrow. And, as a result, I'm wearing the crown. I got this last year and now I'm wearing it again. So, cause I took it off. For anyone that doesn't know, I took it off during last year's birthday stream and I threw it next to my desk and it was there for 364 or 366 days or 4 or 6. One of those. And it was just sitting there and I was like, oh shit, let's put it on again. So for those of you out there that are very cluttered and that don't clean up after themselves, I clean up after food, drink, anything that can attract bugs I clean, right? But I like to leave my birthday accessories by my feet so that I remember they exist come next year. So anyway, doing a show today. I got some news here. We're going to be talking about some news on today's show. Talking about some news. This is a news show. I would first of all like to say that welcome to the show. I posted, I know everyone in this chat, I know everyone cares deeply about the following information. I know, I'm aware. But I posted about 20 minutes ago I guess you could call it a demonstration version, an unfinished work in progress of a new Doom WAD. I know, again, this audience cares deeply. And you can find it. Here's some screenshots here on Doom World. It's called Plutorium. So check it out, everybody, for all the Doomers there. Do it as a birthday present, How about this? Play my video games. It's a birthday present. It's free. What other streamer do you watch that makes video games, right? Like none, probably, because you watch a bunch of fucking stupid, untalented, uncreative clown balls. Who else is streaming at this hour anyway? But I heard I got some competitors this morning, a bunch of uninteresting, unengaging clown balls streaming during my birthday program. So make up for that, play my video games. All right, so we got some news here. There's Max is investigating. I don't know if you can hear this beeping. Uh-oh. Get him, Max. Get him. Max the dog is currently woofing. Hi. Oh. Is that audible? Anyway, they always whoever it is, the city, whatever, they know that Andrea lives here. So as soon as it's 10 o'clock, we got to bring out all the bulldozers. This happened a couple days ago too. I was streaming and then I look outside and they're like tearing apart the road and the sidewalk. Like, why do you have to wait until 10, like, fucking 14 a.m. to do your goddamn construction? Get 'em, Max. All right. Doing a show here. Okay. Folks, let's start today's program with some local news. You know, sometimes this is, I guess you could say that this is a job. You know, I do this and I get paid for it and people watch it, and if I didn't do it, I wouldn't get paid. And so, but, you know, part of doing like a news show is you read a lot of bullshit. You see a lot of stupid ass fucking garbage that, quite frankly, is gaslighting you. That's pretty much what it is to experience looking at the news on a daily basis, is being gaslit by thousands of different people that work for multinational corporations. So one way of gaslighting you that the media loves to do, as well as the police, is using the term officer-involved shooting. Right? People, when they say this, what they are saying is, I have sold any amount of the soul that I previously had for probably, like, you know, less than minimum wage. I hate and resent my fellow human. I worship authority, and I will do literally anything it takes to destroy humanity. That's what people who use the term officer-involved shooting really mean to say. But, you know, all kinds of news media use the phrase officer-involved shooting, right? So, really, though, there's other words you can put in a headline, you know, to make it a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more creative, you know, because when you become a journalist, you know, journalist that works at a local news media station, you don't really have any job. There's no creativity. All you do is plaster your name on an auto AI generated headline that uses words like and phrases like officer involved shooting, right? So, but what little room for creativity these so-called journalists have, they are going off on a competition of who can create the most excruciatingly cringe headline when it comes to someone being murdered by a gangster. So again, facts. Someone was murdered by a gangster, a criminal, a drug lord, a crime lord, went and destroyed somebody's life, killed them, murdered them in cold blood, right? So how are we going to describe this? I know I've been giving this a lot of wind up. Shit, I fucked it up. Man dies as a result of officer-involved shooting. I'll say this again. Man dies. Passively. He just dies. Just drop dead. No one knows how. As a result of officer-involved shooting. Now, again, this was written by Curtis Hayen. You can, I guess, like, look at this page here. I mean, you can tell this guy really cares about truth. This guy really cares about holding the powerful to account. That's why he got into journalism, right? Curtis Hayen wrote this fucking piece of garbage article. Man dies. You know, it could have been the fentanyl. Who knows, right? As a result of officer-involved shooting. I mean, like, again, imagine this. You're working at Bojangles. You decide, you know what? I'm going to bring my strap to work today. A customer comes in and says, hey, I want some more ketchup. So bang, bang, bang. Shoot them, blown their head off, right? Would we have articles written about that with man dies as a result of fry cook involved shooting? Like just imagine another sort of analogous context where you go to work and decide to kill someone completely randomly for no reason. They didn't attack you. They didn't do anything. You just, I feel like killing someone today. And then we have articles talking about that in the passive tense. Like, I don't know. I'd be, honestly, if I were a cop, I would be pissed when I read this article. This man did not die as a result of it. I killed the motherfucker. Give me the point. Give me the goddamn tic-tac-toe tally mark, motherfucker. Come on, I deserve that shit. This is my 15th kill this week. What are you gonna do and fucking take my kill? This is a whole new meaning to kill stealing. Anyway, stolen valor. Let's go on. Authorities are investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting in Shreveport. a deadly officer-involved shooting. Like, did these people have a brain? Do these people even have these? Has anyone checked on Curtis Hayen? Is Curtis Hayen, did he die like 15 years ago and an AI has replaced him? Like, who the fuck writes like this? Police were summoned to a, oh boy, once again, here we go again, folks. Police were summoned to a welfare concern on Old River Drive at 1:44 p.m. late at night. I mean, it was so dark out at 1:44 p.m. I couldn't see a thing, you know. It was, you know, shrouded by the nighttime. I just started shooting. It's not my fault I shot the wrong guy. I mean, it's pitch black at 1:44 p.m. in Shreveport. We all know this. On Monday, May 29, Cato 911 dispatch records show that's in the Riverwalk gated community. So you can live, think about this, you can live in a gated community, you're living in this like middle class, upper middle class, you know, everything is fine. Gangsters can still walk through your door and murder somebody because gangsters rule the world. I need you all to understand there is no law, there is no order. The only things that there are organized criminal syndicates controlling other organized criminal syndicates, and we're all basically watching the show. Quote, 2 officers arrived on scene and encountered 1 male subject. Again, the dehumanization, not in just the literal sense as this person was shot, murdered, killed, their life was cut short by a gangster's bullet, right? So in one way you could refer to that as dehumanizing. But now they're not even a person. They're just 1 male subject that was encountered. Think about that. We encountered a male subject. Not a person, not the victim, certainly not a victim. I mean, Lord have mercy, they're just target practice. They're not a victim. They're not even a human, let alone a victim. You got to be a human to be a victim, right? That's like if you kick a trash can, oh, poor trash can, right? Because people are actually, especially if they're black in America, it's just target practice for cops so that they can get better at using their guns, right? Let's be honest. So, let's keep going. During that encounter, shots were exchanged. It makes it sound like the guy was shooting back at them. After an altercation ensued. So there was a male subject. All we know is an altercation ensued, and then shots were exchanged. A news release sent by LSP later that evening stated simply, I love it, stated simply that during that encounter, an Imagine, yo, Curtis Hayen, right, by the way, look at this guy. Curtis Hayen is reading the police report, and he's like, wow, we have a lot of information, you know. Okay, so the police report says, during that encounter, an altercation ensued and shots were fired. And again, Curtis Hayen, because this guy is a creative writing genius. This guy has got like a fucking doctorate in how to fucking articulate the most finely crafted poetic sentence in the history of mankind. You know, converts this, right, into, actually no, this is just another quote, never mind. So there actually is no creative writing. So they just, like, the police just said the same thing twice, my bad. The wounded man, now again, do we have any information? All we know is it was a welfare call. A welfare call, right? A welfare call. Now again, if this guy, this male subject, I'm sorry, not a person, not a guy, not a human, just a male subject, could be a zebra for all we fucking know, right? The only thing we know is that 1, there is a male subject, and 2, shots were exchanged. That's all we got. So again, now, if this so-called male subject could be a fucking raccoon, right? If this male subject had a gun and started shooting at the cops, wouldn't you would think, right? That would be the headline, right? Hero cops defend themselves, you know, from almost being killed by male subject, you know? Right? So factor this in. Why is it that they're not giving us any information? Let's keep going. The wounded man was taken to Ostra LSU Health Shreveport with at least 1 gunshot wound. He was later pronounced deceased. Late Monday night, the Cato coroner's office identified him as 60-year-old Robert Diamond. Oh shit, he has a name. I thought this was like a fucking capybara that was just walking through this gated community. Oh fuck, this is a human being. Holy shit. and this is news to me, police fired on Diamond after he produced a handgun when they approached him. Okay, so now we have some information. He, again, who speaks like this? He produced a handgun? Produced a handgun. Like, this guy is just like a one-man factory, you know? Like, he's like opening up his fucking belly and like, you know, putting some machine parts in there and then like, you know, puking them up in his mouth, chewing them up, nom, 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 and then shits out a handgun. How the fuck do you produce? How do you produce a handgun? Do you mean, I don't know, withdrew? Took out? Showed? What the fuck? Who says produced a handgun? I'm sorry, man. What the fuck? And even then, okay, this is a wellness call, a welfare check. You should be trained to know what to do when someone, quote unquote, produces a handgun in a, again, no crime was committed. Is holding a handgun a crime? I thought we had a Second Amendment. What happened to the right to bear arms in this country? Now, all of a sudden, cops can murder you because you're producing handguns in a country that has a right to bear arms? The coroner's office reported Diamond was transported to Ochsner LSU Health Hospital, blah, blah, blah. Police had at least 20 units on the scene. There were 20 units. What is a unit? Is that a person or is that like a squad? I'm not sure. But at least 20 people involved. And you're telling me the only option was to gun down the male subject? Really? Really? You have 20 motherfuckers with cars and body armor on a welfare check. You know, like, come on, man. This is crazy shit. Authorities urge anyone with information or photographs or video to share them, blah, blah, blah. So, again, they just killed somebody. They murdered somebody in cold blood. No crime was committed. The only thing this poor male subject did was exercise his Second Amendment right to bear arms, and for that criminal offense, he was gunned down by the Gestapo of this country. So, congratulations, America. Wow, look at this. Monday's deadly shooting marks the 5th officer-involved shooting in 4 months in Shreveport. Jesus fucking Christ, Shreveport is falling apart. And again, officer-involved shooting. Like, this guy was just executed, like, gangster style for producing a handgun in a country that ostensibly says anyone is allowed to own guns, right? So, pretty crazy shit. But hey, everybody, local media's on the case. We're speaking truth to power today because a man died as a result of an officer-involved shooting in Shreveport yesterday, everybody. So, there's some good news, or just news in general. I don't think it's good, but it's news for you this morning. So, once again, by the way, I should say this. Why did the cops murder this person? Someone called a welfare check. I need you to understand. I mean, I said this point flippantly like a week ago, and people were like being uppity in the comment section. I don't think they were regular viewers. They were just hopping on the cash cow train saying, how dare you suggest you shouldn't call the cops when someone's suicidal? Again, literally, as I said a week ago, here's the second example in like a what? Didn't I cover one of these stories yesterday or something, right? Like, when you call the cops for a wellness check, there is a high possibility that they will kill you as a result. That's just the truth. That's just a fact. So, in my opinion, if you do call the cops on someone out of a welfare check, that is attempted murder. Now, again, we don't live in a legal system that actually makes sense in this world. But as far as I am concerned, if you call the cops on anyone who is undergoing a mental health crisis, that is you loading a gun, producing a gun, loading a gun, and shooting them in the head point blank. It just so happened a hurricane is going on and like a fucking lawn chair intercepted the bullet and they managed to survive. Now, I don't know how the hurricane and the lawn chair didn't kill the other person. Either way. Right, so again, when you call the cops on somebody who is having a mental health crisis, that is attempted murder. You poured the Windex in their soup and you served it to them. It's just, you know, they got distracted and then didn't end up eating the soup. That is, again, attempted fucking murder. Anyone that does that shit should not be reckoned with in any way. Seriously, they should be taken and excised out of any community. These people are dangerous. They are criminals. If you call the cops on people who are suicidal, you are a criminal. You are a murderer. That's pretty much all I have to say. So, I'm going to, like, take a moment here and, like, look out the window, because there's some, like, shit going on. These people are deciding to do construction at 10:15 a.m. for whatever reason. So just give me a second here. I'll be right back. Yo, can you hear this? Like, there's no way this isn't audible. Yo, these motherfuckers, I swear to God. I swear to God, these motherfuckers know that I start my show at 10 a.m. Jesus, fuck. Look, listen to this. So, okay, for what they're doing right now is apparently this is like a tree trimming expedition. So they're like with these giant fucking machines. They're going up and down the streets, cutting people's trees. Now, first of all, what happened to property rights in this country? These are my fucking trees, right, motherfucker? How dare you cut? And you didn't even ask permission. I probably would have let you if you asked. These motherfuckers didn't even ask me if they could cut my trees down. So as a property rights enthusiast, you know, the world's greatest libertarian, I can't believe what the socialist government is doing. But anyway, hopefully they're over soon with that one. So, I don't know, man. Like, every day, like, people, I literally, like, it's quiet, right? Start the show. Like, they're waiting for me, man. Anyway, I got some coffee here. I got some coffee. Oh, Christ. All right. You know, my birthday is on May 31st, and many times throughout my life, not this time around, but during my childhood, that my birthday has coincided with Memorial Day, the day when people worship the dead soldiers. Now, I have a question for you. Memorial Day, which again, unfortunately, I know a lot about because my birthday lands on it sometimes. Half of these holidays, I don't even remember why they exist. Memorial Day, unfortunately, I do. People worship their dead soldiers. But think about it from this perspective. Who should we have a holiday for? Think about it. We have a government-sponsored. Banks are closed. School is closed. A government-sponsored holiday. Memorial Day. Now think about it. Again, what are you thinking about yet? I don't know. This bitch has got to keep going. How many people have died serving this country in a war versus how many people has this country, who are, by the way, citizens of this country, how many people has this country executed in cold blood via its awful legislation and terrible country? Again, the health insurance mafia, right? Look at the gun lobby that is flooding our streets with guns. Look at the food industry, which is poisoning your brain and making you act less rational so that you're more violent because you're malnourished. 95% of Americans are malnourished. Look it up. 95% Americans fiber. If you don't eat fiber, you are malnourished. Your brain is not functioning properly. Your gut is not functioning properly, right? 95% of Americans are malnourished. Therefore, war. They are theoretically acting more violent because they are in a state of semi-starvation at all times. By the way, 75% of Americans don't drink water. The streets are flooded with guns, right? And we're all sitting here on Memorial Day worried about dead soldiers? Dead soldiers? You mean people that signed up to be dropped down into a fucking genocide mission to kill a bunch of Iraqi civilians? Oh, we're doing holidays about dead soldiers. No holidays about the dead 1 million dead Iraqi civilians. Fuck them. They don't get a holiday. But the dead soldiers, the rapists and the pillagers and the motherfuckers who sold their souls to the government to become killing machines. Now, I know it's unpopular to shit on the military, but hey, fuck it. It's Memorial Day. It's my birthday, motherfucker. Give me a break. All right. So we have a situation where this government executes not only 1 million dead Iraqis, but millions of Americans the government kills every year with its policies. COVID killing 1 million people, hundreds of thousands a year now at this point. We'll get more into that later. And we're all sitting here on Memorial Day worshiping dead soldiers. The least of our problems are the dead soldiers, again. And I say this, I have soldiers in my family who are dead. And you know what? I also have people in my family who died because they couldn't see a doctor because they didn't have health insurance, right? So, I don't know. Who do I care more about, statistically speaking? But again, do we have a holiday for the victims of mass shootings in this country? How many people in America have died from gun violence versus how many soldiers we sent over to commit genocides have died while trying to commit crimes of war? Think about that. Just imagine if we had a holiday, like again, a bank holiday. You are not going to school on Memorial Day for the victims of mass shootings or the victims of our health insurance mafia scam pyramid scheme. Well, this all leads me to this news story. Florida Memorial Day mass shooting. 9 people, including 4 minors, wounded on Hollywood Broadwalk. So, again, I just want people to think about the current state of the world. Now, I know making holidays, federal holidays, takes a lot of work. But really, think about it. Think about it. Memorial Day. We're all supposed to whine and cry about dead soldiers. Meanwhile, more people in this country know someone who's been the victim of gun violence than the people that know someone who's been to war and died in war. So why don't we have a holiday for the victims of gun violence? Think about it. Why don't we have a holiday for the victims of COVID-19? Why don't we have a holiday for the victims of the health insurance pyramid scheme? Why don't we have a holiday for the victims of the food industry? Diabetes can kill millions of people worldwide, right? But don't worry, everyone. In America, you have the privilege of paying a huge percentage of your monthly income to the pharmaceutical industry. Otherwise, you die. They literally have you by the balls at gunpoint. By the way, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people die because they can't afford insulin, and yet they don't get a holiday. But oh, dear heavens, the dead soldiers, the people that signed up to go kill a bunch of foreigners, they're the ones that get the holiday. Give me a fucking break. Now, with this being said, let's read some information here. 9 people, including 4 minors, were transported to area hospitals following a mass shooting at the Hollywood Broadwalk on Monday afternoon. A City of Hollywood spokesperson. This is apparently in Florida. There's a Hollywood, Florida? I don't even know what that means. 4 of those were minors. 9 people shot, ages ranging from 1 to 17. Now, I just want to say this much. Can you tell, I know, privacy. Minors, ages ranging from 1 to 17. I mean, that's pretty much, right? That's what, you just defined what minor is. Minor is under the age of 18. Right, so you didn't give us any information. 4 minors ranging from, is the youngest 1-year-old and the oldest 17? Is that what they're trying to tell us? It's hard to tell because they also just identified what the range of age that a minor is. I mean, I guess they left out 0, but hey. The ages of adults range from 25 to 65. One is in surgery and the others were in stable condition. It happened. I don't give a fuck about the weather in Miami. I'm sorry. It happened at the 1200 block, blah, blah, blah. 6:41 p.m. An area live cam showed people running away frantically. Started with an altercation between two groups, which escalated to shots being fired. One person of interest has been detained, and police are currently looking for a second individual. I got some acid reflux from this coffee. Heard several gunshots, seen a crowd of people running. David Van Dyke. I prefer Dick Van Dyke, personally. Anyway, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't give a shit about the details here, and neither do you. Let's be honest. There's 98,000 mass shootings every day in this country. You don't give a fuck who died. You don't give a fuck how they died. The only thing... Oh, is there a clip I can watch? Can I watch the brutal live murder in real time? Am I allowed... Oh, no? Well, I don't care. Because really, that's all that gets Americans to give a shit is when live streamers or when murderers decide to live stream their fucking antics. You know, that's when Americans really give a shit. But... You know, again, just thinking about Memorial Day today and thinking about, I don't know, I would rather have a holiday for the people that die in mass shootings before I worship dead people that, you know, were slave catchers, dead people, you know, that were, I don't know, maybe, hey, you can say World War II. They weren't all bad in World War II, right? Whatever. But pretty much every other war, I don't know if you can hear this fucking shit, by the way, but pretty much every other war that we've been involved with, America's been the bad guy, let's be honest. And again, World War II, we dropped nuclear bombs on motherfuckers for no reason. So, you know, like, that's the thing. World War II, think about it from this instance. America was so close to being the good guy in World War II, Harry Truman came along and was like, yo, the war's about to end and we haven't committed enough war crimes. Drop a nuclear bomb. What? That's not enough? Drop a nuclear bomb, right? So again, we almost got away with it in World War II, but, you know, America fucked it up. But hey, let's worship the dead soldiers before we worship people that were murdered by the insurance industry or the food industry or the gun lobby. Hey, whatever, why not? Anyway, can you hear this? Is this audible? Like, what the fuck, man? Holy shit. Peter Zotti, $2. I'd kill to be 27 again. I'll be 39 on the 11th. You are fucked, my friend. And not in the good dick way. F-U-K-T. You are fucked. I think a mass shooting is 3 or more. Like, can I tell them, hey, it's my birthday, come back tomorrow? Well, I mean, I guess tomorrow's technically my birthday, but still. Like, can you come back next week? I'm trying to have a bender here. Come on now. Anyway, this is the Above It All show, everybody. I got a couple more things I want to talk about today. I turned 26 in January. Can't wait to not have insurance. That was a big panic for me last year. But thankfully at this point now I figured it out. But yeah, I was having like existential panic about that because I'm a hypochondriac. I get really nervous about health stuff. So, but anyway, woo, can't even enjoy my 26th birthday because of the government trying to fucking put a gun to my head, and now I can't enjoy my 27th birthday because it's already over for me. Like, can you hear this? This shit is like broadcasting at frequencies that like I can't even really understand. Like, they're just fucking up my show. That's what they're doing here. These guys are fucking up my show. I mean, you know, they're just doing their fucking, their jobs. I get it. But they are fucking up my show here. So, man. Alright, let's do a useless segment here. Hopefully, they'll be done by the end of this one. This is some filler. Yeah, it may be barely audible for you, but it's fucking, like, it's my concentration that's getting fucked up here. You know what I mean? Like, wow, I'm grateful that it's not fucking the stream up, but I'm trying to have like a philosophical rambling session here while I'm still high as fuck from doing a lot of drugs yesterday, you know, like, so just bear with me. Environmental Coffee House, 1999. Happy birthday, Andrea. You're one of the only political shows I can really handle anymore. I watch Dusty Smith once in a while, and I listen to my friend, Nicole Sandler, but it's all too stressful. Have a thumbs up day tomorrow. Thank you, Sandy. One of these days you'll come on the show. I've been working on one of my, I talk about this, that I have a lot of side projects. Well, one of those is figuring out a way to have guests do a show. I don't like guests. I don't like the whole format. So I'm trying to figure out a way that makes me comfortable with guests. And once that happens, I'll get there. So this is, like in hoodies, how they have that, thing that, you can tie up the hoodie, right? I always take those out because they tickle me in my sleep or whatever, so I don't like them. And this is just left on my table. So I'm just going to play with this for another minute or so and see if the machines rumble away. So look at this. I mean, I could do a lot of damage with this. Anyway, this article here, I mean, this one is just entertainment. Don't take this one too seriously. I'm going to use this as a little bit of a springboard for me. But this is just kind of entertainment. So this is from NBC News. The stark numbers driving Democratic panic about a third-party 2024 bid. So we have a lot of angles here. The primary angle is don't run against the duopoly. Don't do it, because if you do, Trump's gonna win. Trump's gonna win. Now, again, is there validity to that argument? Yeah, there is, because we live in a fucked up system where we don't have ranked choice voting, and yeah, there are such things as spoiler votes. It is true. I know a lot of people on the left, they get triggered when you actually acknowledge reality on this one. You ever see these guys that are like, how dare you acknowledge reality that my vote for Gary Johnson is not doing anything? So some people get triggered, but it is true. Yes, there is legitimacy to the argument that if you vote third party, it can let Trump win. Now, that said, right, reality, check, we've acknowledged it. With that all being said, it is kind of a rock and a hard place. They really got us by the balls here. I mean, let's be honest. The entire system of American politics is designed so that there is no actual clear, correct answer. That's the point. That's why we don't have ranked choice voting. That's why we have two parties, but both parties suck. And that's why the only ever actual energy that could ever exist is an independent, whether they run in the two-party system like Bernie Sanders or they run out of the two-party system, like Ralph Nader or whatever. Let's even look at Ross Perot. That guy got 20% of the vote. By the way, 0 electoral votes. So that's another way that they got you by the balls. Again, I need you really to understand. I know, American politics, crazy stuff. But think about it, right? The popular vote doesn't even matter at all. You can be Ross Perot and get 20% of the vote. Now, that's not enough to win, right? But still, 20% of the vote. And the actual count, he got 0. He got zilch. He might as well have done nothing. Just think about that. Imagine being Ross Perot. You're spending millions of dollars. You're like a billionaire or whatever. You're spending millions of dollars, and you get 20% of the people in the country who voted to vote for you, and you get 0 points at the end of it. Man, fuck, right? That's some crazy stuff, right? And so, again, we live in this situation where there is all bad answers, right? And that's where you arrive at the philosophy of voting for the lesser of two evils. That's where you arrive at that philosophy. Now, just to be clear, that's my philosophy. I know it is not a great one, but let's all be honest about it. There are no good philosophies here. We can argue about what's the best, what's the least harmful, this and that, and blah, blah, blah. But let's be honest here. If you are voting for third parties and you're thinking, I'm going to show the Democrats a lesson, that's not happening. You voting for third parties only makes the Democrats stronger. So again, my problem with people that vote for third parties, it really boils down to the fact that they put way too much effort into something that they themselves also admit doesn't mean anything. And instead of putting that effort into something else, like going to a soup kitchen and volunteering, or, just literally any other political activity, they just sit and whine all day about the duopoly. So again, with all that being said, let's read this article, because this article is weighing both sides here. But I just want to be very clear, they're not weighing the third-party lefty, the Jill Stein, Bernie Sanders, Marianne Williamson, whatever it is, whatever. They're not arguing with that side here. They're arguing with the political action group No Labels, which is fronted by Joe Lieberman, one of the most right-wing Democrats in the history of Democrats, right? So I need you all to understand, right? We are not going to get any good arguments out of this article here. This is just going to be a let them fight scenario, but, it's a springboard for me to talk about other things too. So, among all the reasons Joe Biden defeated Donald Trump in 2020, but Hillary Clinton didn't 4 years earlier, one looms especially large for the coming presidential election: the share of the third-party vote. Now, again, if you want to say that the third-party vote cost Hillary Clinton the election, I need a better argument than just comparing the percentage of third-party voters to the difference, the delta between Trump and Hillary. Again, Clinton did not even campaign in several swing states. She literally just didn't bother going to states like Wisconsin. She just said, I got this on lock, who cares, right? So again, I'm going to need more of an argument. Now again, it is factually true that if there were not third and fourth and fifth party options, that it is, and people were forced, right? They wouldn't have just stayed home, right? If we lived in a different world, yes, the third-party vote would have single-handedly flipped it from Hillary to Trump. But we don't live in that world. We live in a gray, murky, dish soap water kind of world where things are not as obvious as that, right? So again, yeah, Hillary just didn't care. She didn't bother campaigning, So that's a factor, right? And then think about it. The people that voted third-party, would they have even voted at all? Who knows, right? So again, there's a lot of factors here. In this debate here. So again, just, no side, even if you were to steel man both of these sides, the No Labels third-party side and the pro-corporate Democrat side, even if you were to steel man their positions, again, none of them really comes out on top here. So in 2016, 6% of all voters cast ballots for third-party and write-in candidates, with Libertarian Gary Johnson getting more than 3% of the national vote and Green Party nominee capturing more than 1%. Now, again, people that voted for Gary Johnson are probably, let's be honest, more likely to vote for Trump, right? These are the people that are Republicans, but they like weed, And it's like, hey, I'll take a Republican who likes weed over a Republican who doesn't like weed any day, right? But think about it. What is the Libertarian Party? It's the party of child labor. It's the party of child marriage. It's the party of child sex slavery. It's the party of sex slavery. It's the party of serfs and fiefdoms. And it's the party of drugs, right? That's pretty much the Libertarian Party. Now, am I going to say that every Gary Johnson voter second choice would have been Trump? No, but I would say certainly over 51%. My personal opinion, I'm willing to say 70 or 80% of Gary Johnson voters probably would have went with Trump if they were forced between the two parties, right? So again, it's kind of like this wishful thinking mechanism from both sides. The No Label side is, if we just tried a third party, it would work, man, and then we'd get away from Trump, right? And then the corporate Democrat side is like, the third party, they're destroying America. The fact that our party is garbage is not even remotely relevant. It's really the third parties, the ones that have no power, they're the ones that have the ultimate power. And it's like, what the fuck? Anyway, let's keep going. The difference effectively changed the threshold the major candidates needed to reach to win key battleground states from 47 and 48 to 26 in 2016 to 49 and 50 in 2020. They're saying that there are less third-party votes in 2020, which is true. That, Democrats say, made it easier for Trump to win in 16, but not in 20. And the numbers illustrate why Democratic groups eyeing a possible, if not likely, rematch between Biden. What does this mean, eyeing a possible, if not likely, rematch? Can we talk about this, by the way, that, mainstream media, Trump 2016, you know what? You can make an argument no one saw it coming. Now, I personally thought it was a good chance that Trump was going to win. But at least in the mainstream media, they didn't really see it coming. You can make that argument. But, like, the idea that we are now here in 2023, it is May 30th of 2023, Donald Trump has more than 51% in every primary poll for the Republican Party, and Joe Biden is the incumbent president and running again. I need you all, the idea that anyone is saying a possible, if not likely, rematch between Biden and Trump, it is the literal most likely outcome. Like, again, if you look at betting odds, like, you know, gambling, the most likely outcome, Trump versus Biden round 2. If you look at polls, not even extrapolating anything, the most likely outcome. Like, I'm willing to state the only thing that could prevent a Trump versus Biden round 2 is either one of them having a heart attack and dying. Okay? Now, is mainstream media like NBC News, do they really think that it is a 51% chance that either Trump or Biden are going to hit the ground screaming and die any minute now? Do they really think that? Because that's what they're telling us here. That's what they're saying. They're saying we, NBC News, genuinely believe that Joe Biden and or Donald Trump will cease to exist between now and the 2024 election, because that is the only mechanism in which these people are not running against each other. So just a minor nitpick there. All right. Want to keep the third-party vote share as small as possible, including moving to keep the well-financed third-party group No Labels off the ballot. Is No Labels really trying to become like another, like a fifth, 28th party? That's hilarious. Not join the Libertarians, too much baggage. Certainly not joining the Greens because they care about the climate. Let's start the No Labels party. Yeah, you know what my label is? No Labels. Comparing the results of 16 and 20, what stands out is that Trump's vote share nationally in key battleground states and in key counties stayed virtually the same, even as he won one election and lost another. What changed is that Biden grew the... You know what's interesting about this, by the way? Is that this whole article, you know, if these corporate Democrat freaks actually gave a flying fuck about third parties possibly eating into them, you know what they would do? Advocate for ranked choice voting. That's what they would do. Because again, if you truly believe that third parties were all garbage and none of them could ever win, but you're scared of spoilers, you would absolutely want ranked choice voting, because if that got the case, spoilers wouldn't exist and people would select Democrats as their number 1 or number 2 and they would win every time, right? But they don't want ranked choice voting, because you know what? That's the thing about it. Now, I'm not saying here that I've done a lot of research and I've participated in third-party movements myself, and they're all trash. People's Party, garbage. Green Party, garbage. Libertarian Party, garbage. PSL, garbage. They're all garbage, okay? DSA is not even an official party, and that's still pretty fucking bad in a lot of areas, right? So again, not a huge fan of these organizations. But, you know, obviously, there's a part of the corporate Democrat wing that is a little fucking scared of them because, again, they could wash all of this away with ranked choice voting. Take battleground Pennsylvania, for example. Trump defeated Clinton in the state in 2016, 48-47, but as third-party vote declined in 2020, Biden won at 49-48. The same situation played out in Wisconsin. Trump captured the battleground state in 2016. So basically, what they're saying is, watch out, because 2016 and 2020 were different elections that took place at different periods of time, and the results were different. That's their argument. All right. Either you are for democracy or not. The strategists behind No Labels believe there is a hunger for an alternative to Biden and Trump. Yeah, people are in this country, they're really thinking, you know what? Biden? Nah. Trump? Nah. Joe Lieberman, though? Yeah, that guy. That's what people are really hungry for. Jesus Christ. Okay. And they're spending $70 million to launch an independent unity ticket featuring a Democrat and a Republican. No! I mean, you can just say that's Joe Lieberman. He's basically a Democrat and a Republican, right? Like, just do that with one guy. They could have ballot access in all 50 states, and that could win, they say. They actually, No Labels is like, we're going to win a presidential election for 70 mil. Really? Really? You think you're going to buy a presidential election for only $70 million? Motherfuckers have spent hundreds of millions. Motherfuckers spend billions of dollars on this shit. You're going to win a presidential election with only $70 million in the bank. Come on, man. Come the fuck on. Getting a non-major party candidate on the ballot can be complicated, time-consuming, and expensive. But the group already has ballot access in Alaska, Arizona, Colorado, and Oregon. According to a poll No Labels Commission released in March, 59% of registered voters nationwide said they would consider voting for a moderate independent. It's the same thing. Yo, Groundhog Day. Now, I know most of my audience are older than me, right? And I, sitting here with my birthday to become 27 being tomorrow, I sit here as someone who's participated in 2, soon to be 3 presidential elections. It's the same shit every time. It's the same shit. I remember in 2016, now, just to be clear, I lived in Maryland. I'm swearing my oath on the goddamn Quran right now. I lived in the state of Maryland in 2016. I voted for the Greens. I'll admit it. I know it's not my proudest moment, but I voted for the Green Party in 2016 in a blue state, by the way. Just throwing that one out there. And so, why did I do that? Well, that was my first presidential election. I voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. He got shafted. I was mad at the system. And I was thinking to myself, well, look at the polls. I remember seeing a poll just like this when I was 19, 20 years old. Most people want to vote third party. It's just that every single time they don't. But they want to. They really want to. This is like if you did a poll on New Year's resolutions. You know, like 88% of Americans polled want to eat less carbohydrates this come year after New Year's resolution. Wow, that gives us an incredible amount of information. But every single fucking cycle, they parade these same polls. And again, they're not going to argue why this time is different. Why is it that this time is different? I'm willing to believe this. I voted third party in the past. Tell me, why is 2024 going to be different? They're not going to tell you. They're just going to get more people that haven't been exposed to this scam. That's really what they're doing here, is if you haven't been exposed to the third party scam, then you're the target demographic. You're going to say, oh, 60% of people, they would consider voting for a third party. Well, wow, and 99% of people want to eat more vegetables as a New Year's resolution, and yet 95% of Americans don't eat vegetables, right? So again, woo! This is basically just an advertisement for No Labels, but it's printed as if it's just journalistic media. What's more, the No Labels poll found that in a 3-person race, an unnamed moderate independent candidate that gets support from 20% of all voters compared with 33 for Trump and 28 for Biden. An unnamed moderate independent candidate gets support from 20% of all voters compared with 33 for Trump and 28 for Biden. So in their poll, they basically are proving the fears of the Democratic Party correct. Now, I would say this. If I'm the No Labels group, you know what I would do? I would not release that poll. Why give the enemy side up? Why give the opposition free Oppo research? Don't publish the poll. You got the wrong result. Maybe try again. Ask some different questions until you get a better result, because that's how the entire polling industry works, by the way. No Labels leaders stress that if they don't have a path to victory, they ultimately won't put forward a 2024 ticket. I love this one because we are going to rely on Joe Lieberman's very rational assessment of reality on whether or not they have a quote-unquote path to victory. Yeah, Joe Lieberman. That guy, he can tell us the straight dope. They also dismissed complaints that the third-party bid would disproportionately take votes away from Democratic ticket. saying their own polling showed an equal share of Democrats and Republicans supporting an unnamed moderate. Yeah, their own poll also shows that Trump 33 and 28 Biden. You know, like we're dealing with a bunch of fucked up morons here. This is one of the easiest ways for Donald Trump to become president. Democrats opposed to no labels argue that the third-party group has no chance of winning in 2024. Now, that's true. I just want to say that. I agree with the Democrats on this one. Now, again, I want a third party that actually is serious. We're probably never going to have them because third parties are just... Let's be honest. American politics, if you're involved in a third party, you're a grifter, a scammer, or a mark. Let's be honest. That's it. There's no one else. PSL, grifter, scammer, mark. If you're in the Green Party, a grifter, a scammer, or a mark. If you're in the People's Party, you're a grifter, a scammer, or a mark. If you're in the Libertarian Party, you're a mark or a grifter, okay? No scammers in the Libertarian Party. They're just all grifters, you know? Those are pretty much synonymous, but I like both of those words, but Libertarians are pretty much firmly in the grifter category. The grifters and the drifters. But anyway, I need you really to all understand, if you are getting involved in a third-party effort at this point, barring, like, if they've got, like, some AI, hedge fund, tech bro, superstardom, like, funding them, and they're gonna calculate, like, it's like the fucking Terminator, and, like, Skynet's gonna, like, fucking send a super virus into the world to mass program people into voting for them, you know what? I'm in. I'll vote for the third party. But barring any sort of that kind of technological super prowess, guess what? They're not going to have a chance. And anyone pretending that they will is selling you something. Very specifically, selling you something. They want you to literally pay their salary. That's pretty much what the third party scam is, because it's a scam. Is they want to sit around and do nothing other than get famous. Like, look at the People's Party. That's all it is they're trying to get famous while they have random people online pay their salary. Is the People's Party actually doing political outreach? No. Is the Green Party doing political outreach? No. Is the Libertarian Party doing political outreach? No. All they're doing is sitting around working in their party apparatus, making their salaries on incoming political contributions. That's it. The treasury of the Libertarian Party, yeah, that's just a fake job to make money off of your dumbass. And the same thing is going on with no labels. The same thing is going on here with all of these third parties. Now, again, I say this as someone who wants a third party to work. But anyway, you can read the rest of this if you want. This is basically just a giant advertisement for the No Labels group, which is something that they definitely don't need, and like presenting the worst arguments from both sides. But hey, it's fun to talk about, and the construction is seemingly over, I think. I'm not sure. So there you go. That killed some time. I can't see links. Letterhack, you're talking to a ghost. Just send it to me on Twitter and I will look at it later. All right, y'all. I have two videos that I want to cover here. Both of them are about 2 minutes. Sent, look now, worth it. God damn it, Letterhack. Oh, shit. It was worth it. It was worth it. Damn, that was not wrong. The top 10 things that are not wrong, whether or not this is worth it. So apparently this was just drawn This is a live artistic interpretation of approximately 40 minutes ago, according to this clock here. Hey, you tree trimming, don't you know it's my birthday? Goddamn. Well, technically it's not. And also, this hoodie does not have a zipper. So, I know we always say, creativity loves constraints or whatever. It's all open to artistic interpretation. No zipper on this one. So, I don't know, unless this is like the headphone cord, but I don't think it is. So anyway, damn, Letterhack. I gotta say, thank you for that. I'm gonna print that out. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now that's a birthday present. I mean, fuck, Jesus Christ. So everyone go follow the Letterhack on twitter.com. All right, now back to what I was going to say. This is going to be my last segment for the day, but it might be long, okay? And it will be depressing. All right, so bear with me. I know, all right? I've got 2 video clips. These are both local news, okay? And the reason why I'm highlighting local news is because local news, whether you like it or not, is corporate-owned. It's garbage. It's political garbage to get you to follow mainstream trends. That's what local news are. Look at the Sinclair Broadcasting compilations for examples, right? But people listen to local news. Figures in local news media are often heroes in the community. People see them. So people pay attention to local news. The other thing is that people are stupid in America, so they are very easily propagandized. I have 2 clips here that I want to play, and I'm going to try my best not to pause them, and then just kind of do an analysis of the where we are in society. So this is one of them. This is from NBC News. Memorial Day weekend travel rush hits pre-pandemic levels. And my next one here, Bay Area doctor believes COVID-19 to become endemic this year. So I want to play these 2 clips. Yes, we're talking about COVID, and no, the pandemic is not over.
From crowded boardwalks in Coney Island to an air show in Miami Beach.
I think I gotta raise the volume here.
And barbecues in Wisconsin, the unofficial start to summer has travelers crisscrossing the country.
Who does not like summer? I like.
AAA estimates more than 42 million Americans are traveling this Memorial Day weekend, from the roadway to the runway, with more than 2.7 million travelers taking flight Friday alone, numbers not seen since 2019. It's a sign, experts say, of what's to come this summer season.
I think
Real quick, did I see someone with Scrabble? Is this Scrabble? What is this? I know I said I tried not to pause. But is this Scrabble? I don't know. Maybe not, but it looks like a board game. Anyway, note, by the way, real quick, while we're paused, right? We could be back to normal if people wore fucking masks. That's the thing about this whole fucking debacle that I fucking hate, is these stupid fucking animals. I'm talking about Americans, savages, fucking uncivilized fucking savages from the fucking Stone Age, okay? We could be back to normal. We could be traveling and everything would be fine if motherfuckers would wear a fucking mask. These selfish, fucking genocidal, neo-Nazi propagandized freak shows. I fucking hate Americans, okay? We're gonna get back into the video in a second here, but I just need to get this out. I fucking hate Americans. I fucking hate them all. Every single person pictured here that's not wearing a mask, the sooner the better. And what's the sooner the better? The sooner the better. That's the sooner the better for these selfish fucking savages. Now let's keep going.
Of what's to come this summer season.
I think people are just excited to be able to be with family again.
Prices for domestic flights, rental cars, and gas have improved.
Max is woofing. Oh, fuck. Max is woofing. Max is woofing.
Domestic flights, rental cars, and gas have improved from last year, but the overall cost of travel is up 18% compared to before the pandemic.
So, note, by the way, Max is just barking at the mail. Note, by the way, that the price has gone up 18%. Isn't that weird? It's almost like inflation and corporate price gouging are making it so that not only are you killing your fellow American for seemingly no reason, but you're paying out the ass for the privilege of doing so. Could you imagine? Think about this. Imagine paying someone money so that you can kill random people. Like, you know that, like, that joke or what, like, it was like a movie or something where you press a button, right, and you get like $1 million, but some random human being dies that you've never heard of or whatever, right? And that's just like, can you live with the fact that you killed someone for $1 million, right? Now imagine that movie, except it takes place in America, and instead of, you know, getting $1 million for the, you know, trauma of killing a random person, you pay them for the privilege of doing so. That's America. Let's keep going.
While lines snaked through airports in Denver, Chicago, and Atlanta on Friday.
I feel like you should get here 3 hours before.
Max is freaking the fuck out. Maxie! Max, what the hell are you doing, doggy? He is yelling at them. They are not allowed in this house. This is Max's house. Anyway, let's see what this fucking maskless person has to say.
I feel like you should get here 3 hours before, not 2 hours.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg tweeting, flight cancellation rates remain below 1% this weekend, in sharp contrast to last summer's airport Armageddon.
It's the middle of the holiday weekend. It was a lot smoother. Maybe it'll be more busier tomorrow.
But another stress test is on deck tomorrow as people gear up to head home. Are you worried at all about traffic returning home?
Note, by the way, are you worried about traffic? Oh, what about the virus that's killing hundreds of thousands of people? No, we're not concerned about that. Traffic. Yeah.
Yes, very much.
On the road, AAA is warning travelers leaving tomorrow afternoon to brace for bottlenecks, in some cases worse than Friday. We're doing a bit more sitting than moving. Drivers returning to New York, Boston, Tampa, and Seattle could see travel time nearly double, prompting some to get a head start.
Anyway, you can watch the rest of this clip if you'd like. It's basically just about travel plans, this and that, and all that. I want to play this one. This is a so-called doctor from the Bay Area doing a local news segment on what it's like to live with a life after COVID, because apparently, you know, we're living in a fiction world now. Now, again, I need you to fully grasp this. We are now, you know, and I say this from a point of depression. We are firmly in the twilight zone. Like, I need you to really fundamentally grasp, if you are someone who is concerned about COVID, literally more than 0%, right? It's a binary, unfortunately. You are either not concerned at all in America, or you are very concerned. I don't know if there's anyone in between anymore. We, as people that need to be, as people that are intelligent enough to understand that COVID is not over, we need to fundamentally understand that we're fucked. It's over. Like, there is no back to normal until all of these uncivilized weirdos and freaks die off. And that's just the sad reality. I don't want to live here in this world. I don't like the fact that we've gotten to this point. But it is undeniably true that at least 90% of Americans are savages. They are uncivilized fucking Homo erectus motherfuckers. They are Neanderthals. They do not have any, literally any critical thinking ability. Now, this clip here that I'm going to show you is insane. I want you to really, and I know I've been saying this a lot recently in regards to COVID, but it is a, again, 1984 type situation, okay? With cheer and happiness, you are going to witness the absolute lowest that humanity has to offer. And what I mean by that is COVID-19 is a genocide. This is a genocide. Millions of people all across the world have been murdered because this was preventable. But countries all around the world, organizations like the WHO, World Health Organization, and locally here, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they collectively decided they are going to use... Now, is there proof of this? No, but look at their actions. They have collectively decided that they're not going to do anything to stop a preventable illness. Americans have decided, oh, a mask that doesn't affect me whatsoever? Well, I'd rather not wear that and kill people. Watch this clip. And if this shit does not make you want to cry yourself to sleep every night, I really don't know what else could. I mean, you're either a broken person, or you're a psychopath. Those are the only two options here.
As health emergencies end across the country and in the Bay Area, infectious diseases experts finally say with confidence that we could collectively breathe a maskless sigh of relief.
I think this is a critical year because this is a year when COVID will become endemic.
UCSF infectious diseases expert Dr. Peter Chin-Hong says COVID is becoming predictable thanks to the amount of immunity in society, as well as tools like treatment and vaccines. He believes yearly vaccines may only be needed by the most vulnerable and people over 65.
We as a society have to be prepared for as...
Factor in that 82% of Americans refused the latest vaccine. 82% of Americans are anti-vaxxers. Trump won. Joe Biden made America the country of anti-vaxxers. Okay, Joe Biden and Donald Trump, they fused, they did the fusion dance from Dragon Ball, and they became the ultimate COVID denier, and now 82% of Americans refused the vaccine. And now doctors are telling us, don't worry, you don't even need them. Doctors are trying to get the 18% of Americans that are still getting vaccinated, and he's trying to get that number to get even lower. Even lower. It's already at 18% of this country bothered to get a free, safe, effective vaccine. And he wants it, he's a doctor, by the way, he wants it to be lower.
As much as 100,000 to 250,000 people a year dying of those vulnerable groups. But in general, for your average person, it will probably fizzle out.
Dr. Chin-Hong.
3 years ago, Democrats would be up in arms. But they don't care anymore. This doctor, with a smile on his face, is saying, 250,000 vulnerable people will die a year, but don't worry about it. 250,000. And now again, vulnerable people. This brings us back to genocide. This is a genocide. Okay? That's what we're dealing with. The poor, the vulnerable, the sick, the unhealthy are being systematically culled from society. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. We know for a fact that poor people are less likely to go to the doctor when they're sick. We know for a fact minority populations, like the black community, are more likely to have social disadvantages, which leads them to work in service industry jobs. You can't work from home, right? So we know for a fact, the numbers are public. The poorer you are, the more likely you are going to die from COVID. But it's not a binary. You can get sick with COVID and survive and become permanently ill. Autoimmune diseases. We have found that COVID is very similar to HIV in how it targets your immune system. At Davos, the World Economic Forum, I covered this earlier this year, they had every single room. In order to enter or to move through a doorway, you needed to take a rapid COVID test. They had HEPA filters, wall to wall. They had UV lights that were designed to penetrate and kill COVID in midair. Okay? That's what the billionaires are doing. While they are convincing you that hundreds of thousands of sick people dying every year is good. The average life expectancy in the United States of America is collapsing. We have lost about 4 or 5 years on our average life expectancy over the last couple of years here. The first time in American history that is reversed, that life expectancy is going down. Do you want to live to the point where you can see your grandchildren become adults? Because in America, that's no longer going to be possible. When you become sick, you enter the class of vulnerable. But also, when you become elderly, you enter the class of vulnerable. Because what is old age but for a symptom, a cluster of symptoms that are often associated with disease? The older you are, the sicker you get because your body breaks down. That's just how life works. Now, you can stave it off as long as you can. Maybe if you exercise every day, you eat really well. But eventually, until we develop some sort of cybernetic technology, you're probably going to end up dying of some sort of sickness when you're old. Are you really expecting to live until 70 in America? The country that is priding itself on a genocide of the elderly? I don't know, man. I mean, again, I say this. I'm depressed. This shit is depressing. It is hard to get up in the morning. I'm not going to lie to you. When I think about this shit, I have panic attacks when I think about the status of the world when it comes to COVID. I would love, it's my birthday tomorrow. I would love to go to a restaurant and have a nice birthday dance, you know, and the people fucking come out and they do that fucking clapping thing or whatever, and then they force you to sing karaoke, you know. I'd love to, I'm just kidding, I would hate to do that. I hate people. But I would like the option. I would love the option of going to a bowling alley, playing a couple rounds. I would love the option of going to a bar and playing pinball. I would love the option. But I don't want to die, and I don't want to get sick. Now, I'm a hypochondriac. I really don't want to get sick. I don't like being sick at all. It scares the shit out of me. And yet, everyone is pretending like it's okay. And this is the thing about it that really is fundamentally depressing for me, is because we have, again, I've used this analogy before. You're sitting on the couch in front of a coffee table. Your best friend brings out a tray of cookies. So you're like, oh shit, cookies. So you grab one. Your friend grabs you by the wrist and says, hold the phone. I put cyanide on those cookies. If you eat that shit, you're gonna die. Literally within a couple seconds. And then they let go of your wrist. The average American, 95% of Americans, we'll eat the cookie anyway, because yeah, me. But then, imagine this. Your fucking friend who made you the cookies produces a capsule. It's an antidote. It's gonna stop the cyanide. It will literally save your life. They give you the capsule, they grab your hand, they put it in your hand, and they do that thing. You are now holding the capsule. And then you put it back on the coffee table. And die from the cyanide. That is the average American. That is 95% of Americans. They will eat the poisoned cookie, they will spit in their hair, they will eat the poisoned cookie, and not even take the antidote, even if it would save their life. And what are we talking about here? Masks. We've had masks for 100 years. We've had them. We know that they work. And all of a sudden, America says no. Fuck masks. I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on denim and brand name shoes and purses, and I'm going to spend all this money on jewelry and hats and brand name sweaters and cardigans, but a mask, I gotta pre-order those new brand name shoes because they look cool, but a $10 box of N95s, oof, too much money. Think about it. We could literally, with not a single issue in the world, live our lives like normal if we all wore masks. If we had an indoor and outdoor mask mandate in every area where people congregate, this would be gone. It would be gone. Not endemic, where millions of people die that are vulnerable, and that's a good thing because we got to kill the vulnerable. We got to kill the old people. It's America, baby. We got to make money. If we all just wore masks, it could be normal. But this is a fundamental thing for me. Like, this is an inkling I've had my whole life. As an autistic person, I've always been weird, right? I've always been different. I've always been bullied. I've always been made fun of. I've always felt detached from society at large. And now, this is like the I told you so moment for me. But it's not a good thing necessarily. Like, do I feel vindicated that, oh, maybe I'm not the weird one. Maybe the regular people in this world are fucking insane and I was right to be afraid of them? That's true. So I told you so. Yeah, everyone else is fucking crazy. Okay? I was right. But then, it's the crushing realization that the world was built for and is operated by people that want me to die. People that think vulnerable people, 250,000 die every year. As long as I can go to Outback Steakhouse. You know, it's fucking horrifying. It is. It's a horror film. And we're watching it play out in real time. So I remember when it was 2020, and I remember having my first birthday during the pandemic. And I was thinking to myself, damn, I hope that May 2021 we have a vaccine. And we did. We did have a vaccine in May of 2021. And no one took it. So, I don't know, man. I really don't know what to say, but I don't have any answers. I don't have any solutions. I can tell you I am depressed. This is depressing. I mean, just think about the tragedy. 250,000. Like, the previous acceptable death metric was 40,000 a year dying from the flu. Right? That's fine. 40,000 people a year dying from the flu when masks were invented 80 years ago that would stop it. Whatever. And now, that 40,000, some years it wasn't even less. It was like 20,000. But that's still unacceptable to me. But still. Now it's 250. With a smile on our face. The acceptable metric of mass death has increased 5-fold. And that's good news. Like, I don't know, man. That shit's crazy. I think I've said everything I could say. But, like, it's just, why bother, why bother giving a shit about anything? Why even? Why bother? Why bother interacting with other people? Why bother doing literally fucking anything for this shitty fucking world? But anyway, we're the crazy ones. Let's move along. So anyway, that's my show for today. I don't want to leave the show on a depressing note, though I would love to do that. So let's go into the QCOC portion of today's program. So, questions, comments, or concerns? Hit me up. Hit me up. Folks, I got a new Doom wad. Not only am I a premier thinker and entertainer, but I also make video game expansions. My favorite video game is Doom. Check it out. Imagine, what other streamers do you watch that make video games? Probably zero, because the people that you watch are uninteresting. So, play my shit. QCOC, please forgive me for being late. I had to drop off my car at the shop. What the fuck? Do you think Trump should be charged with mass murder for how he handled COVID? I think Trump and Biden and Walensky, all of them. Skip the trial. Happy birthday song. Oh no, I forgot about that. Okay. And I'll get to the super chats in a moment. Okay.
But congratulations today, the honorees, including your wife, who I understand is a birthday today? Well, look, my wife has a rule in her family. When somebody's birthday, sing happy birthday. You ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Alan. Happy birthday to you. Well, it's hell turning 30.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst thing in the world. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, I hate the birthday song. When people in my family would ever do that to me, I remember as a kid, and this is like some more autism stories for childhood. Every year, I had a reputation of crying when people would sing happy birthday to me, because it was the scariest fucking thing in the world. Like, first of all these adults that I don't know, that they don't care about me at all. They're pretending to give me attention. They're all staring at me and singing to me. And the song is just, it's petrifyingly bad. So I developed a reputation as a kid of crying every single year during my birthday when people would sing it to me. Coincidentally, I don't ever remember any of my birthdays as a kid. You know, it's the childhood trauma thing where you don't remember anything. But I don't even remember half the birthdays, but I do remember being told that I cried during every single one. So there you go. All right, let me do some supers. Realon, 70s R's, happy pre-birthday, Max the dog face, party emoji, hands in the air, and crown emoji. Tyler Ackner, 199, happy early birthday, party face emoji. Brooke H, 499, happy birthday, software Andrea from a fearless literature minded. Realon, 5 memberships from Realon. How does Max react to other animals? He wants to kill everything. I don't really know how to feel about that. Happy birthday, thank you. Do you think we should start World War VII with China? I personally think we should skip to World War 29. And yes, with China. Actually, you know what? Subvert the trope. I want World War 28 with Taiwan. Yeah, that's right. Plot twist. You didn't see that coming. US versus Taiwan. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Yo, I'm about to, like, enter my, like, neocon arc, you know, where I'm just gonna say... You know how, like, Republicans are like, yeah, let's invade Mexico. Yeah, let's invade Mexico. And it's like, what the fuck? You know, I'm about to, like, you know what? Invade Mexico. Good idea. How about this? Invade Puerto Rico. Yeah, that's right. Well, let's invade our own territory. Like, I'm about to just, you know, enter my fuck it all. I'm going to become John Bolton on crack arc, you know? Oh, yeah. You want a war with China. How about this? A war with the entire Middle East, just all of them. You know, like, you ever play Super Smash Brothers, and you know those rounds where you're fighting, like, the parties of the Polygon guys? You ever play Super Smash Brothers Nintendo 64? You got those rounds where you're fighting all the weird guys with no textures? Yeah, how about that? US versus everyone else. Let's fucking do it. Hell yes. Rufus got a membership. Shout outs to Rufus. It's alternate 30. It's true. I mean, I can only imagine. Blowing out the candles is disgusting. Oh, I hated that too. Fuck. It's the worst shit in the world, man. Oh man. Yeah, the climate crisis. I mean, that's old news. Environmental coffee house, it's old news. We're not going to have clean water by the 2030s. Who cares? And people aren't drinking clean water anyway as it is. So everyone's already adapted to the leaded fucking metallic water that poisons your shit with microplastics and PFAS. That will kill billions? Yeah, you know what, Sandy? If that is your real name, I say, hey, billions of people being dead, it's better than trillions, so, whatever. Oh, Christ. Didn't the Supreme Court just end the Clean Water Act? Fuck yeah, they did. Fuck yeah, they did. Fuck the Clean Water Act. Who needs clean water when you got lead? Yeah. We got Tetrasan here to cringe up the chat room. Welcome, Tetrasan. Well, I am a newly discovered monarchist. I have decided that, well, turns out people are too dumb to govern themselves. So we need someone who maybe, I don't know, blessed by God to figure something out. So, and just so we're all unbiased here, I nominate myself, you know, just out of fairness, you know. You ever hear the myth? This is one of my favorites. You ever hear people say, George Washington, like, didn't even want to become president, bro? Did you hear this? But he was like, he was forced because everyone loved him so much. You ever hear this one? That's going to be me. Like, it's not that I want to be the queen ruler of the world, but it's like everyone really keeps asking me to do so, and it's like, then I'll become the queen, and then I'll write the history books, and I'll write that into, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god. Anyway. I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I may do a Twitch stream. It's possible. Today I may do one. Who knows? So feel free to follow me if you want the random chance of a birthday stream part 2. I may be here on Thursday. It depends on how fast I recover from my planned situation tomorrow. So but if I'm not here on Thursday, it's all good. I'll definitely be here on Friday unless something really bad happens, which is possible. But I guess that's it. I guess that's it. I don't know what else. I don't fucking know what else to do. Being young is a privilege. Being attractive is a genetic gift. I don't know about that one. Being cool, that is all you, Andrea. I hope you know how loved and cherished you are by all of us. Happy birthday. May you have hundreds of more. I can only hope. But thank you. Member for 9 months. I've had membership for 9 months. Christ. Remember, I was going to do memberships and merchandise on the same week. And now it's been 9 months since I... So, that's great. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I mean, feel free to give me money on Cash App. I do like Cash App. Cash App has the added benefit of me being able to spend the money instantly. So factor this in, that if you give me a YouTube super chat, like, it's all well and good. I'm not going to get that money for like 3 months, you know? So if you do want to give me money on Cash App, Courtney gave me something. I got something from Afraid Not. I don't know if you wanted me to shout you out, but I did anyway. So thank you for that. And I'm going to spend that money on candy, actually. Believe it or not, I'm going to spend that money on candy. So, but I'm not going to be spending all the membership and super chat money on candy. Why? Because I'm not going to be eating candy in 3 months, because it's not going to be my birthday in 3 months. So, thanks for the money, I guess, but no thanks. I'll tell you one thing I do get a lot. This is a compliment that I am actually proud of, is that no one attacks their viewers as much as I do, and if someone does, I challenge them to a competition. So thanks a lot for, by the way, not only giving me a birthday present that's going to show up 3 months late, but also giving Google a cut of the birthday present. So, hey, Cash App, there's no fee when you're trading currency between Cash App users. So 0% fee versus 30%. All y'all are choosing, I'm going to give Google 30% of my money and make sure that this birthday gift is delayed by 3 months. So shout outs to the real brain geniuses in the youtube.com chat room. Oh, man. I gotta add the fucking foot emoji as a chat one. I should have done that a while ago. But anyway, thank you all for the contributions. I do appreciate it. No joke. I do. But when you put the jokes back on, I would appreciate it a lot more. I mean, it's also no joke as well, but it's like JK unless kind of shit going on here. But anyway, I am really bad at ending shows. I don't know how to do this. It's just so awkward. But thank you for watching. I guess. Just